Hey you Hillmaniacs, it's Hillmanator, and I was going to vlog this week, and then I remembered something important. But before we get to that, let's talk about my video last week. Those of you who watched last week's video know that I took a test on the Republic, which was 10 questions. Some of them had multiple parts. I showed you guys what some of my tests were like throughout this year so far by using that, and I wanted to just give you a bit of a feel for how I thought I was doing. On that test in particular, I do now have the grades back. I got 82.5%, which isn't the best, but it's not too bad. It means that I got one question completely wrong. It was one of the multiple choice questions that I looked at, and I just picked the wrong one, apparently. I don't know what the correct answer is yet, but I'm going to find out later this week. The other question that I got wrong, however, I do vaguely know where I went wrong. It was the example of the sun and the eye, the sight, and how that correlated to knowledge, the good, stuff like that. And I did get that one incorrect on 3 parts of it. I did get one part correct though, which is always a good sign. So that means that 2 of the questions I did not get completely right, but in general I did all right. And while I'm not particularly happy with it, it's not awful, so I'm gonna take it in my stride. Anyway, on to what I remembered, which is, of course, that next week is results day for A-level students, and the week after is GCSE results day. So, bit of a stressful time for you guys, isn't it? I've said previously that I know that a number of GCSE and A-level students do watch this channel for some reason, and so I want to give you guys some advice for what I did on results day and how I would teach you to prepare for it and what to do on it. So, the first thing is to realise that the exams have already gone by and that you've done your best. And I know that sounds incredibly redundant, but there are many people who will continue to pressure themselves purely on like, oh, did I do my best? Even though they themselves know that they did. It's similar to me. I told you guys when I looked over my grades for my first year at uni, that whilst I should have been happy with them, I wasn't, because I felt like I procrastinated a bit too much. And a lot of you guys are going to be feeling the same thing even before you get your results back, which is not helpful. So first thing you need to do is to get that out of your mind, because there's nothing you can do to change that now. Next thing is for this coming week. Now, this is the week where you're going to feel probably the most stressed about your results in your entire academic year, save for immediately before and immediately after your exams. Results days are always stressful, whether it's your first GCSE year where ultimately your grades aren't your final grades, or whether it's your final year of A-levels and you're going to find out whether you're going to uni, or even at the end of your 3rd year of university where you find out whether you actually succeeded and graduated. Results days are always intimidating and everyone feels the pressure of it. Now, some feel it far less than others, and others just show it far less. So sometimes it will feel like you're the only one who is feeling any sort of level of stress about it, and take it from me, as someone who's not a very emotional person, everyone feels stressed about this. They may pretend that they don't, they may even feel far less stressed than you do, but they do feel some level of stress. The week before your results come out, one of the most important things that you can do, and this was actually very helpful to me and I know a number of my friends, was distract yourself. As I said at the start, there's nothing you can do to change how your grades come out now. There is no way that you can just hope and wish for it to change. So you might as well just get on with your life for now. And the more you spend time thinking about it, the more stressed you're going to be. The best thing to do right now is to find something that you enjoy doing that relaxes you. So for me, when I needed to relax before my results day, I went and I rewatched a significant amount of Doctor Who, because it's one of my favourite shows. Even though I may dislike certain eras of it, I still think Doctor Who is amazing, and that's why I spent a significant amount of my time before results days watching Doctor Who. I know a number of my friends did a lot of reading before results days, a couple of them went and watched new films in the cinema, a lot of them went and organised parties, which can be great, but the important thing is that you are not thinking about your grades, you're thinking about just about anything else that you enjoy. You want to make this week as pleasant for yourself as possible. Now we come to the results day, and it's going to be different depending on what year you're in. If you're at university, you'll see from my video that you can literally check it anywhere, and so there's no need to actually go somewhere and find out. Whereas if you are at GCSE, you have to go to your school to find out your grades, as you guys are well aware. And then A-levels, particularly your final year, you're going to be checking both at the school itself and on Youcast. Now, I'm going to focus mostly on A-levels because that seems to be where a number of my audience actually are. The big question arises, which do you check first, Youcast or at the school to find out your grades? Personally, I wanted to find out my grades first, but I didn't. I was on my laptop at about 6 AM because I woke up early, not because of stress or anything, purely because of insomnia. So I had the tab open because I figured I'd just put the laptop to sleep before I went to school, and then when I came back it would be about 9, maybe 10, and I could open up Youcast, double check everything, and then I'd have my grades, I could see everything, and I would have my Youcast application. But turns out that Youcast sometimes opens early, and it did that day, considerably early, and so I actually found out that I was in the university significantly before I went to get my grades, which for me was actually very helpful, because when I got my grades, I found out that I did just have the grades that I needed for the uni, which would have been fine, but if I had found out the grades first, I would have potentially stressed myself out by worrying whether the uni actually had accepted me, because even though I had the grades, sometimes weird stuff happens. So I would recommend checking Youcast before you go to the school, because it's just a good way to sort of prepare some expectations, because you immediately know either, yes, I've already got in, so even if my grades don't exactly match what I was predicted, you know, I've got in, it's fine, or you know, okay, I wasn't accepted, let's find out where I went wrong and we can work on how to improve it. Now, you've got your grades, and let's say that they're brilliant. Let's say that they're really great for you. That could range from anywhere from a pass to an A star. And honestly, it really doesn't matter how well you've done, as long as you are happy with your grades. But let's just say that you've done really well and you're super happy about them. That is brilliant, and that is well worth some cheeriness and some happiness, and you deserve to be happy about your own grades. But you do need to remember that there are going to be people there who aren't. I did have a tendency to struggle with this because I knew that there were a lot of people at my school who did really well, and they were immediately very happy. And even though I did very well myself, I have told you previously, I am never happy about my own grades, and so other people, sometimes not on purpose, bear in mind, but sometimes they would just rub it in a little bit too hard. And I know I even did the same thing by accident. Even though I wasn't happy with my grades, sometimes that could be construed as, oh, he's not happy even though he got higher grades than us, so what the heck's the deal with that? And that isn't to say that if you didn't get a particular grade, then you aren't valuable or anything. You should be as happy as you can be with your grades. But just bear in mind that there are going to be people who aren't happy and will need some encouragement from you. Now let's take the other route and say that you're disappointed with your grades. There are 4 choices as to what to do when you're at A-levels and you didn't get the grades you wanted. First one being that you can ring the university you applied for and see if there's any way that you can still do the course. Now, this one can be stressful, it can be upsetting, but it may still get you in on that same course which you applied for and you clearly enjoyed and loved. Next up, there's clearing. Now, I am hardly an expert on this, I just know little bits and bobs, but basically, I recommend having a clearing list prepared a little bit before results day, so that when it comes to the results day, you are ready and you are good to go to talk on the phone to as many places as you need to in order to get through clearing as efficiently as possible. Now, clearing can be scary because you don't necessarily know all of these places as well as your original first choice, but it is still well worth doing. Your third choice is to go into the school, talk to the head of your year group and talk about potentially being able to resit one or more of your exams in the hope of getting a higher grade. Now, this one can appear difficult, can appear intimidating, because you're essentially saying that you don't feel ready to go on, which for a lot of people can be emotionally hard to do. However, it doesn't make you less of a person if you have to resit an exam. There are plenty of people in every school year group who have to redo their final year of A-levels, so don't feel bad if you have to. And the last thing that you can do is just to try and accept it. That can be hard. It's probably the most difficult one to do of the 4 options that I presented, because at least with the other 3 you are doing something, whereas with this one it's very much on your own emotional state. But in the end, it can, if you know that there's no way of improving it and you don't think there's a chance of you getting in through clearing, which personally I have to say there probably is a chance, but even so, if there's nowhere that you want to go on clearing and you know that there's no way that even if you resat you could get the grade, then this is probably your best option. At which point it might be worth considering doing either a different course at a college maybe, or an apprenticeship, or just going into the workforce. But that is not to say that any of those things are not worthwhile, not valid. All of them are equally worthwhile, they're just different routes that you can take. Ultimately, none of that is actually as important as the next thing that I'm going to recommend, which is, of course, that you have something planned for results day. Now, whether that be a party with friends, or going out to eat. Nando's does free chicken for any students on results day. Just a good shout, so you know. The important part is that you aren't sat at home overthinking things. Now, admittedly, if you're trying to do clearing, you might need to be at home, but otherwise, you are going to want to get your mind off of results. You're going to want to go out and have some fun. Even if you didn't get the grades you wanted, relaxing and having a bit of fun before trying to sort stuff can be very beneficial to yourself. So please plan something out for your results day. Maybe you're going out with friends, maybe you're going out with family, maybe you're just going to stay at home and play video games all day. But whatever you do, don't just lounge about and do absolutely nothing and overthink yourself, because that is not a healthy attitude. So that's my advice for results day. Take it or leave it, but I hope that one of these tips has been useful to someone. I don't know whether it will have been, but hopefully. I hope that you guys get the grades you want and deserve, whether that be at university level if you haven't received your results for some reason, or at A level or GCSE, or any other way that you are looking for results. I also hope that you enjoyed this video. I realise it may not have appealed to a number of my audience, but I honestly don't care. Okay, thanks for watching all. I shall catch you next time.